Joe Scarborough had a little back and forth with Donny Deutsch on MSNBC over Israel's offensive in Gaza. And what you need to take note of here is how insane the offensive must be if Israel lost Joe frickin' Scarborough.
Yeah. Let's not forget that Hamas is a terrorist organization. Israel is a democracy. Just saying.
It's the only democracy.
We agree with you.
Okay.
The only one.
Just saying.
Who disagrees with that?
Nobody, but Hamas. You know, obviously we can go on this for hours, and obviously seeing children killed is an atrocity. But
obviously it is.
It is. But we also
know that
we also know they use children as shields.
Exactly.
Shields.
Exactly. So let me ask you this:
so who's to blame? Is it Hamas to blame?
Hamas is to blame. But let me ask you something: if your child is being held with a gun to their head, do you want the cop to shoot through your child to kill you?
I'm going to say it again. Hamas uses children as shields and is the
of course,
aggressor.
And it is.
And if somebody's shooting at my children, and if that child has to die to save my,
it is absolutely abhorrent. But the question is, if the United Nations warns 17 times, the
United Nations is not living in Israel.
This is a shelter. So Donnie, should this have continued?
I think Israel accomplished its mission.
Which was what?
Which was to shut down those tunnels and keep Israel safe. Hamas wants to obliterate Israel. We forget that is their mission.
No, none of us forget that. Hamas is a terror organization. I've said it. They are our enemy. They want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. They are a scourge. But Hamas is not going to be able to obliterate Israel. You know why? Because Hamas is loathed by their own people. Before this began, 80% of Gazans were against Hamas. Egypt is against Hamas.
It's great that they're against
Saudi
it,
Arabia,
when they're shooting rockets
Saudi Arabia. Let me finish my point. Saudi Arabia is against Hamas. The UAE is against Hamas.
Hamas is not attacking
Jordanians are against Hamas.
But they're not attacking Jordan.
No,
they're not
it
attacking
shows you
Egypt.
how isolated they are. And Donnie, when you continue attacks that continue to show across the world 5, 6, 7-year-old children dragged out of rubble dead when they're running with their parents to try to hide in a UN school, who does that help? Who does that help?
It helps no one but...
It is a casualty. You are incorrect. It is a tragedy, first of all. Do not even come close to saying that it's collateral damage.
I didn't say that.
But a lot of people call that...
is the result of Hamas's aggressive
to calmly
moves.
Answer my question.
Okay.
Who is helped when a young...
Nobody.
That's wrong.
Who is helped?
Hamas is helped.
Okay, yes, of course. Okay, well, when you're asking, I'm literally answering
Israel
the question.
plays into Hamas's hand.
Well done, man. It is very, 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 very rare that I ever agree with Joe Scarborough. Usually his smugness is overwhelmingly annoying, and usually it's wrong. He's being smug and arrogant on an issue where he's 100% wrong. Here, for whatever reason, he's actually being somewhat reasonable and saying, no, Donny Deutsch, you don't get it. You don't get it. You want me to explain this to you? It's very simple. The more Israel blows up schools, that's plural, schools, schools, hospitals, innocent kids on a beach, they bomb an electric plant that is the only place giving electricity to Gaza. They have killed 80% civilians, over 1,500 civilians dead, okay? When you do that, you know who you're helping? You're helping Hamas. If your goal is, as Israel claims, well, our main thing is just to get Hamas. We just want to, cripple Hamas, cut their kneecaps off, and just make sure that they're powerless, right? Well, mission failed overwhelmingly. You just made everybody in Gaza incredibly sympathetic to Hamas, and they want to join Hamas. Why? Because they're the people that are saying, well, we want to keep launching rockets in Israel and fucking respond and defend ourselves. So, of course you're making Hamas stronger in that scenario. You're giving the people, and this is the same thing with the U.S. drone strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, and all these regions, is we get so many innocent people that now you've given the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these radical groups, Boko Haram, etc., you've given them all an argument. You've given them a good argument Now they can go to you and say, oh, man, I know you guys didn't really like us before and you were rather moderate about all these different things. But it was kind of fucked up when the U.S. blew up that wedding procession that your sister was in, wasn't it? It's kind of fucked up when they blew up the funeral and killed your son, isn't it? So, maybe what you should do is pick up an AK-47 and join us, because we're actually fighting back against these crazy, insane, barbaric idiots. And then the people go, yeah, you know what? You're right. I was moderate before. I was on the fence. I wasn't pro or against America. I was whatever. Now I'm against America. Now I'm going to attack. Same thing is happening in Gaza with Hamas and their growing sentiment now in the Palestinian region. Now there's an even bigger hatred for Israel. So you're failing according to your own standards that you're setting up. That's the point. And then also when Donny Deutsch says, well, Hamas are terrorists and Israel is a democracy, let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. He tries to snidely throw it in there. Let's not forget that. Hamas are terrorists and Israel is a democracy. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? What are you implying? That means that Israel should be able to kill 80% civilians and should be able to bomb UN schools after they warned 17 times that you shouldn't bomb and there's no Hamas here and there's no rockets? Think about that, man. UN warned 17 times, hey, Israel, don't bomb here. There are kids, there's civilians, no Hamas, no rockets. They fucking bombed anyway. But no, it's okay because Israel's a democracy and Hamas are terrorists. So because you labeled yourself a democracy, that means you're good by definition and you can do whatever you want. You can say the same thing about the U.S. and Iraq. Well, U.S. is a democracy. Iraq was a dictatorship. So therefore, we can do whatever the fuck we want, right? We can kill civilians, whatever, right? That's how an idiot thinks. That's how a narrow-minded fool thinks that says we could do no wrong because we've labeled ourselves good from the jump. We've labeled ourselves democratic. And then also, there was a good point made by Abby Martin the other day. She said, notice, the human shields argument is an argument that's recycled throughout history. Whenever people really want to paint the enemy as beyond loathsome and subhuman, what do they say? Well, these assholes, they're the ones that are using human shields. I'm the good guy. They're just using human shields. So when we kill civilians, we're going to preemptively say that we have no responsibility for it because you blame them for it no matter what. With Osama bin Laden, they did that. Remember the original story? They said, oh, yes, the SEAL Team 6 team broke down the door and bin Laden was hiding behind his wife. That bitch using a human shield and his wife, nonetheless. Outrageous. Turns out later on we learned, oh, that wasn't true. But it serviced the point. Oh, bin Laden's such a fucking monster that he hid behind his wife. Well, look, I'll say what I said the other day. Even if we're overly kind to the argument of Israel and we say, okay, Hamas uses human shields, we'll be too kind and say as many as 50% of the cases, when 50% of the civilians died in this conflict, they were literally using human shields, holding kids in front of them. Which again, I don't believe, but let's give them that, right? You still killed over 700 innocent civilians, and it's your responsibility. Stop trying to be the fucking pull-string doll that has the same response to everything. Blame Hamas. Hamas uses human shields. Hamas uses human shields. Yeah, we get it. Hamas are assholes. They shouldn't be firing the rockets. That doesn't mean you bear no responsibility. Fuck, it's such a stupid argument. I can't take it, man. It really is. And there's this story today out. I laughed at it when I saw it. The Israeli military found the manual where Hamas says to the world, we're using human shields. Right. I'm sure you found that. And what was buried in the article? CNN cannot confirm if these materials are actually real. Just like every other story that Israel preemptively leaked about how, oh, no, look, they're the pure evil, we're pure good. See, it says it in this leaked story that we just made up. What, did I say that out loud? So, Morning Joe, for the first time in a long time, it almost pains me to say it, but it's true, he's actually right about something, and the main point is, it's not only good for the Palestinians and the people in Gaza and the people who are getting destroyed and obliterated in this conflict for Israel to stop with the offensive. It's better for Israel if they stop with the offensive because they're just creating more hatred, they're just creating more Hamas members, and that's counterproductive even according to what they claim their reason for fighting is.